Okay, you're at the Watchmen Way, February 25th, 2020. 1.7 trillion in the stock market value was lost in 2 days. Wait till you see where we go next. This is happening, guys. Um, we're not stopping this thing. There's nothing. Well, I don't think anybody does want to stop it, is the main point. Because you can see the the hype isn't justified by the facts. This is so overblown. Um, it's ridiculous. They've got a mortality rate that's almost identical to the common flu. And they are running around like got their hair on fire, screaming bloody murder, scaring the hell out of people. This is definitely, fear porn. Ramp it up. And I think when this is all said and done, I think worst case scenario, we might have a little bit worse than an average flu year. And the flu deaths worldwide run between 10,000 and 60,000 a year. We're like 3,000 people. It's gone up a little bit probably. That was a couple of days ago. But let's put it this way. The potential loss of life from the worldwide economic collapse, and I guess here's the thing, guys. This collapse was coming whether it was the virus or Deutsche Bank going down or China's economy collapsing, which is on the verge of, and I think is why this all is happening. It doesn't make any difference. But I think there might be more people die from the collapse than actually die from the virus. There are going to be some countries that I think are going to be rough. I think the EU, the whole EU, is a powder keg right now. You've got a bunch of pissed off nationalists, and Germans, French, almost every country over there understands now the threat of the refugee crisis and how they got duped into accepting all of these supposedly peaceful Islamists who are burning churches and raping women at an alarming rate. And there's not a lot they can do about it. Eventually, if the governments don't get behind what the people want, and in the EU, the people want their countries back. They want the refugees to go home, and they're going to go home one way or another, either in body bags or, on their own 2 feet. But I don't think that it's going to. I don't think the people are going to allow it to continue. And there might be a lot of violence because of it. And it might be inevitable. If the countries aren't going to listen to the will of the people are going to take their rights back from the government. And that's got the potential to be really bloody. We'll see how it plays out. I'm hoping that there's intervention here from God. I think God could smooth this all over. All you got to do is shift the political sentiment here. And at some point, these politicians are going to have to understand that their lives might be on the line. Nobody is above the people's will. When the people make up their mind that that this is going to happen or has to happen, it's going to happen, whether the politicians want it to or not. That's the world's population only needs to understand that all we have to do to defeat this evil, because remember, it's really 1% of the population that's doing this. All we have to do is stand up. They can't stop us united. And that's why they spend most of their time trying to divide and conquer us. That's what all these groups are. They want us in 1,000 different groups so that we can never come together and unite. And if we can't come together and unite, they have free reign. They can do whatever they want. Those days are over. The people have finally woken up to what's going on and have said, we're not taking it anymore. It's all part of what I've been talking about. And, greatest transfer of wealth in human history, man's greatest accomplishment in overthrowing this evil, man's greatest age, 1,000 years of peace and prosperity. That's where this is all headed. No reason for fear. No reason for doubt. We just have to keep moving forward. Over 1,900 points down in 2 days, stock market here in the U.S. Definitely, this is the end game for the virus. It's all about the economy. Brazil might just have their first case of the virus. You're going to see it every day. Some new country is going to have their first case. New York hotel loans defaulting at an alarming rate. And hotel rates across New York are dropping like rocks. Telling you guys, Jim Rickards, this guy is really sharp. Been around a long time. Consulted with virtually every government on the economies. Saying China's at their 1984, George Orwell, 1984, basically government control. China's there. He says the U.S. will be there next. And I would agree with him if it was Hillary in office, but President Trump isn't going to go down that road. I think what everybody needs to understand is that, and what most people don't understand the big picture is the problem. I get all the time people talking about, well, God, that Hillary Clinton thing, that could have never happened because there's no way that the FBI or the powers that be would allow that to go unchecked. They would have arrested her. And my question is, who is running the Department of Justice and the FBI? It's the same people. They're all involved in it. That's how it's continuing. Why it hasn't been dealt with yet? Because these people had serious threats to kill millions of Americans. Bioweapons, nuclear weapons. The deep state had bio and nuclear weapons at their disposal when President Trump first took office. When President Trump first took office, there were more globalists in the government than there were patriots. If you don't understand that, You're not going to get this. That's number one. Number two, there's too many of them. We had to weed, like I said, more of them than us. You want to fight that battle? And I said from day one, he could have gone in on day one and just dropped the hammer. But it would have been a bloodbath. Because, think about this, as the other side to that coin, he would have been 100% in his rights in arresting everybody on the list. They had evidence virtually from day one against everyone. But what would have happened with the sentiment across America? Because remember, at that time, when he first took office, Americans were so gun-shy based on all of the propaganda that the mainstream media fed us, that a lot of people didn't know what to think. A lot of people were on the fence. And if he would have come out guns blazing, and then the media, of course, would have turned it at, oh, this is a political attack. He's going after his political enemies. Can you imagine the uproar? It could have got really ugly. So this is all going to come out. This whole process, everything's going to be revealed. People are going to be amazed at how much power the deep state had. It would have been, we would have won, but like I said, it would have been a bloodbath. Because too many innocent people would have gotten away not understanding what was really going on. So it's been played brilliantly. Yeah, there's been some sacrifice to that. We've talked, about the kids. I mean, that's why I had my stroke. I was pushing so hard, on the pedophilia to get something done, get people woke up. Let's make this happen. And it got away from me. It just, that pressure, my blood pressure for weeks, and we didn't realize it at the time, but was going through the roof. And I was so focused on this job that I just thought it was, it was because of what was going on, right? Because of it, I learned, we can't force this stuff. It's going to happen on God's time. I have no control over when this happens. I can analyze, I can predict, but nobody knows for sure except for God. Everybody wants it to end sooner, but we don't know all the facts. We don't have all the information. President Trump has most of it. God has all of it. It's going to happen on God's time. And we just have to focus on the things we can control. And that's why I keep coming back to red pilling and preparing, planting seeds. That's what we're doing. That's what we need to be 100% focused on, because focus on anything else is taking away from the thing that we can control. How many people do we get on board? How many people do we help through this process? It's in the thousands now. Lisa just had an argument with somebody the day before. This is how it works, guys. Yesterday she had an argument with them. Today they're buying Litecoin and silver. Don't be afraid to fight those battles, especially right now, because people are looking for answers. Plant those seeds. Every time you have an argument, that's a seed planted. When the pedophilia does pop up in the mainstream media, oh my God, Lisa was right. They're calling Lisa as soon as they see that. So we've got to be ready, guys. We've got to be ready to handle that flood of people looking for answers, and not only be prepared for it, but also be prepared to take the high road, to set an example. There's no hard feelings. We don't hold any grudges. We don't rub people's noses in it. We say, welcome aboard. Where are you at? This is what you need to do next. That's what we do. We answer their questions. We do the best we can in comforting them and getting them through this, because remember, a lot of them are going to come to a shell shocked with that cognitive dissonance deeply ingrained. So the more concise we can be, the more sense we make when we're explaining this stuff, is going to get them through it that much easier. So look at this, what we're going through right now is just a training ground for the real job that's going to come once everybody, and to me, that's when the good part starts. When they can't deny this is going on any longer, when those arguments end, they're not going to arrest anybody. Okay, they have. This isn't really happening. Okay, it is. Yes, there are satanic pedophiles ruling the world. That's a fact. Then it becomes a lot easier, right? Then it's not a battle or an argument. It's more an education. And that's a lot easier to deal with than the battling we've had to do for the last almost 6 years now. It's headed our way, guys. We just need to hang in there. Just keep pushing. From Zero Hedge. Critical thinking. This is a Zero Hedge headline. And what have I been saying the past 6 weeks? Well, actually a couple of years. Critical thinking has never been more important because the ruling class doesn't want you to. That's what this censorship is all about, guys. They don't want you using your critical thinking skills. They don't want you asking questions. They don't want you questioning them because they don't have any answers, number one. And it's dangerous for them to think for ourselves. That's the whole, this whole program since the Second World War, since, Project Mockingbird, CIA, taking over the media so they could thought shape us through newscast. Been going on, guys. Yeah. What is that? 70 years now? 70 plus years. They've been on this. And they did a great job. They almost had us. They were this close. We need to thank our lucky stars every single day, guys. Because Hillary Clinton gets elected, even if there's a military coup, where there was going to be if Hillary got elected, millions die in America. Because either if President Trump, like I said, would have pulled the trigger early, catastrophe, as far as fatalities go, same thing now. But it's all good. I think this thing, if they do what it looks like is going to happen now, and they declare martial law because of the virus, the economy collapses, and then they start arresting people, we're getting through this clean. Because everybody's going to be so worried about the virus and their paychecks They're not going to care that Obama and Clinton got arrested for pedophilia. It goes a lot easier this way. Oh, don't forget the 1 week way challenge. So, as all the members know, it was a month ago that God came to me and clarified us paying forward our profits from Litecoin and silver. The clarification was that we're designating those funds now to the foundation, to building the foundation of the revival of God's church. We've been asked, the Watchmen have been asked to lead the revival of God's church, which is the way, which is the church that Jesus taught 2,000 years ago. Tell the truth every time, do the right thing every time, live your life in the service of others, treat others with respect. Donations go directly to the hands of the needy. There's no middleman. There's no priest. There's no pope. There's no hierarchy. There's no buildings. We meet in each other's homes. We mostly meet to do good. Build a house. Put on a roof. Do yard work for the elderly. There's 1,000 things we could be doing with the right organization and funding. And that's what we're going to provide. The Watchmen are going to provide the funding and then coordinate it with groups from around the country and then eventually from around the world to make this a better place. And just think about it. That, before I forget, there's a post with a link to join the Watchmen Way. So we Lisa just got the Watchmen Way page up. So a link to join the Watchmen Way Facebook group on the Watchmen Facebook page. So on the page, you picked up our live chat. There's a link to join the Watchmen Way. So please do that, guys. We want everybody on the Watchmen page to get on the Watchmen Way page. I know it's kind of confusing, but it'll make sense as we go along. You got to remember, guys, I didn't know this was coming. This is a big surprise and a great surprise, but we would have probably done things a little bit differently if I'd have known where this was headed. So, the 1 week Watchmen the Way challenge. Live your life the way for a week. Try it out. Tell the truth every time. Do the right thing. Live your life in the service of others. First day I was hooked, but try it. I think you'll be surprised. You know, a lot of times we make excuses about telling a white lie or a lie. A lot of times we'll use an excuse of, well, we just don't want to create an argument or start a fight. Is that really the right thing? How about telling the truth and let the chips fall where they may? And when you do that, you'll be surprised. Jesus, that wasn't that bad. And you feel a lot better about how you handled it. Try it. I think you'll be amazed. It's a spiritual page, guys. So, and that's the other thing. So how we're trying to split this up now is that we're going to try and post the political side to what we do on the Watchmen page and the spiritual side on the Watchmen Way page, okay? So anybody has any questions, talk to Lisa, Danielle, or me. But that's how we're trying to set this up now, to kind of separate the two, because there is some difference, right? Anyway, and again, you have questions, let us know. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything here. Okay. Tommy, how you doing? David, what's up? Linda, how are you? Kathleen, hello. Mike, Lisa, Susan, hello. David's sharing. Keep sharing, David. Randy, what's up? Another big drop in the stock market. 880 points today, 1,030 yesterday. What's that? Over 1,900 points. Huge, guys, and it's not over. Trust me. I believe that from 3 days ago, we'll drop 50% in the stock market in the next 6 weeks. We'll see. Yeah, cash out your bank, cash out your stocks. Physical silver and Litecoin. Kathleen saying the CDC, World Health Organization, are pushing for another vaccine. There you go. If the coronavirus doesn't kill you, the vaccine will. Yeah, guys, absolutely do not accept a vaccine for this thing. They're already saying that many of the people dying have been dying because the medication they're giving out is weakening the hearts, and they're actually dying from heart attacks. Yeah, no vaccines. If you're healthy, this is no worse than the flu. A 2% fatality rate right now. They think it might get up to 8 or 9. We'll see. But, 8 or 9, it's not taking the healthy people. It's taking the elderly, the people that are already ill or weak. Rita, how you doing? God does know the right time, guys. Romance on the Watchmen? What's going on? David's got a girlfriend? Jeannie, hello. James, what's up? Oh yeah, guys. Anybody who has children, you definitely want to make sure they've got food and water at least. Because listen, again, I want to be very clear. This is not fear porn. I do not believe it's going to go worst case scenario in America. Worst case scenario is the power goes off, the grocery stores run out of food. If the power goes off, that means you got no water and there's no food in the stores. That's a recipe for a bad deal. Within a week or at a week, you're looking at massive looting and rioting because people can't feed their kids. They're going to get food any way they can. I think President Trump is on this. I don't think the power goes down or not where it's going to cause a water shortage. I don't think that the stores are going to run out of food long term. That's the key, guys. That's why you want to be prepared, because I think that President Trump will keep the food flowing, but there may be shortages. You may not eat every day if you're depending on the grocery store. If you've already got your own food and water, you don't need to worry about it, and you put less pressure on an emergency system. So just from a patriotic or a Christian point of view, we should all be doing this. Because if we can do this, it'll mean more of that emergency food and water are going to go to the people that need it, right? That maybe couldn't get prepped because of financial reasons or family reasons or health reasons. It's just part of us doing the right thing. We don't want to be a drain on the system. There shouldn't be a watchman out there who drains anything from this system. We should be adding to it. That's the point of the watchman. That's the point of getting extra food and water, extra Litecoin and silver. So we have extra to give throughout this whole process. It's how it's supposed to work with us, guys. We're here to set the example. Danny is late. What a surprise. Our super sleuth live reporter and Vincent Fusca. I'm still waiting for that interview. Prospect. Oh, listen, guys. Bernie Sanders, I mean, he might get the Democratic nomination, but he has no chance in hell of being president. You know. Todd, how you doing? Way of the Truth of Life. Tessie, hello. So, thewatchmanway.com. Yes, Mike. Thewatchmanway.com and thewatchman.co. Those are our two websites. Plus, we have our YouTube channel, which there's a link, I think, from both websites, I believe, to the YouTube channel, which is just The Watchman, I think. Excuse me. Tessie, listen, number one, why do you even care what happened to Philip Harvey? It's a non-issue. No one should be wasting their time on this. So Tessie's asking about a guy that was a DHS whistleblower in the Obama administration. It's insignificant to the big picture. So number one, they're saying it wasn't a suicide. That's what I just saw the coroner report today, that he's not, at least not yet, hasn't ruled it as a suicide. We'll see what happens, guys, but this is it. You talking about it is a distraction. So quit talking about it. It's irrelevant to the big picture. The Watchmen need to focus on the big picture. We need to set the example for everybody else. When we're chasing our tails with stories that are irrelevant, we're setting a bad example. So let's quit chasing our tails. Let's focus on what we're supposed to be doing. Red pilling and preparing. If you're not red pilling or preparing, you're doing the wrong thing. Quit chasing your tails. Yeah, a lot of vitamin C right now, guys. Oh, carbon 60. You know, I haven't talked about this in a while. And this is the perfect time. I hadn't even thought about it. Carbon 60 is something God showed me early on. I rodeoed for 40 years. I won't even get into the injuries, but my knees were horrible. It was painful to walk down steps, to walk on uneven ground, on gravel. God showed me carbon 60. I started taking it 6 weeks later. My knees were pain-free. That was 5 years ago. They're still pain-free. I can run again. I'm 64 years old with 40 years to ride a bucking horses, and I can run. It's the most amazing supplement I've ever taken. It is, I believe it extends human life. It is the best antioxidant by 100 times of anything out there. because the molecules are so tiny, it can get into the cells deeper than any other antioxidant and clean our systems out. It's amazing stuff, guys. Especially right now with this virus. You can get it at Amazon. It's called Good and Cheap Carbon 60 in olive oil. It's like $18 a bottle. That lasts 1 week. So a month's supply is about $80. You can spread that out a little bit. I like a bottle a week because I know I'm getting... And you can't take too much of this, guys. You could literally take a bottle a day and it wouldn't be too much. I don't know if it's going to do you a lot of extra good. But I figure what I've been doing is about a bottle a week. Anyway, everybody should be ordering that, especially with this virus. It'll keep you healthy. Especially if you have people that are elderly, definitely get them on it. It's good for your pets too. It's cured cancer in pets. Amazing stuff. Extend your pet's life also. It was originally, that's the only way they can sell it actually as a pet supplement because it's not tested for humans yet. But trust me, it works fine on humans. Okay. Stay calm. Yeah, stay calm. I'm always calm. Randy's asking. Okay, okay, so this is kind of what I expected, guys. Randy's saying that the Roosevelt dimes at both SD bullion and JM bullion are sold out. So what I would do, guys, the first thing I do, there's probably 20 different bullion dealers, at least, in America, at least. Get on the internet, start searching out some of those other bullion dealers for the dimes. That's going to be your best bet. Do some research on them, make sure they're not fly by night. Most bullion dealers aren't. But check them out before you buy. If you have any questions, message me. I'll help you. But this is a sign, guys, that dimes are out. Just wait. This is ready to blow. When it does, you're not going to be able to get any silver. As an option, I don't like it personally, but you can get the tiny little, I think they're grams of silver. They're more expensive, or they were. I prefer the dimes myself, but do what you got to do. You want some smaller pieces if you can get them, just because if it goes worst case scenario, the smaller pieces are going to be easier to barter, right? Think about change. A 1 ounce round is probably going to be worth $1,000 a month after this thing blows up. Just think about trying to get a loaf of bread with a 1 ounce round and needing change when banks possibly are closed. Good luck. Yeah, that's why you want the small. That's why you want the dimes. But just get on the internet and search out other dealers. And I'll work on finding a couple that might have a supply of dimes, and we'll try and post them tomorrow. No, we won't go. Listen, China has a gold-backed currency. America has a gold-backed currency. Russia has a gold-backed currency. We'll all have those currencies. We'll have cryptos. We'll have Bitcoin. We'll have Litecoin. We'll have Ethereum. There'll be a few other coins that move in there to take some of that space. But we have the answer. Silver, Litecoin. For us, that's all we need to worry about. But we will not be a one... There won't be a single monetary system. There might be a world reserve currency like we have right now, but we're not going down that globalist road. That's not going to happen. William, how you doing? Yeah, and you can always get quarters, guys. Get the quarters if you can't get dimes. You can still clip a quarter. Remember, you got to get a pair of tin snips also, because you may have to trim, especially if you got quarters. You're really going to have to trim probably, because yeah, you got, if a dime is going to be worth about $90, a quarter is going to be worth a couple of hundred. So if you need change, you're going to have to trim off some of your quarter. Ray, how you doing? Yeah, Bernie's finished. I mean, don't worry about it. Michelle, how you doing? I don't know what you're referring to, Danielle. Are you talking about praying? I actually usually pray when I'm in bed. Get Carbon 60 at Amazon. It's $18 for a bottle, which is 1 week supply. Amazon, it's called Good and Cheap Carbon 60 in olive oil. Good and cheap Carbon 60 in olive oil. Did I miss something? Yeah. Well, Tessie, that was her assignment. And then she ended up sitting right next to him and didn't get an interview. Listen, we're going to cut her some slack. This was her first assignment, so we're not going to be too hard on her, okay? Thank you, David. Kathleen got her. See, there you go, guys. Buying early. Kathleen got her dimes months ago, like I was telling her to do. There's still more out there, guys. Joy, how you doing? Yep. Yeah, okay. Joy, are you talking about Carbon 60? It's a supplement. You take like 15, what is it? 15 mil? Is that what it is? It's like a cold dose. It's like a teaspoon. 15 mil a day uses that bottle in just about a week. It's a 100 ml bottle. Carbon 60 in olive oil. Carbon 60 in olive oil. Good and cheap. Carbon 60 in olive oil. Amazon. Rita got her dimes a year ago. Good job, Rita. Rub it in. Okay. Okay, guys. It's crunch time. What we've been waiting for for a long time is happening. I don't think there's any way to turn this tide back. If it was just the stock market for a couple of days without the virus, I would say it's, who knows what's going to happen. But with this last couple of days with the stock market and what's happening with the virus around the world, then it's not tapering it off. It's actually expanding and not a good sign. It means that this really is what they're trying to use this for. So think about it this way. We know the deep state, the globalists control the media, right? That's a fact. If they didn't want this to happen, it wouldn't happen. because they would shut all these stories down. This story about the one case in Brazil, we wouldn't hear a peep about it. We wouldn't hear a peep about most of this stuff on the mainstream. They're trying to generate hype to create the fear so that they can do the things they need to do to collapse this. And honestly, guys, I think, like I said, last week it was over. What happened in China the first 4 weeks sealed the fate. You can't shut China down for a month when they're already broke and can't service their debt, and you're going to shut their economy down for a month? Like I said, the worldwide economy, if it started tomorrow at 100%, and that's not going to happen because it's going to take a couple of weeks to ramp up to 100%. But if it could ramp up tomorrow, it's still too late. The damage has been done. The hole got 100 times deeper because they can't service the debt if they don't have revenue. And you don't have revenue when your factories are sitting idle. And then the factories around the world waiting for parts from the Chinese factories all start closing. It's a domino effect, and it's already happening. Okay, guys, remember, we've got to approach this from a positive angle. We have to be careful of cognitive dissonance when we're talking to people about this stuff. Just the information on the pedophilia, the satanic pedophilia, is going to rock people to their core. There's going to be people that walk around for 2 weeks in a daze, like a zombie. Imagine having that when rioting and looting are going on all around you, and you're out of food and water, and your kids are hungry, and you've got cognitive dissonance. Good way to get killed. Good way to get your family killed. Be prepared. Don't put your family through that trauma, that unnecessary trauma. You have 100% control of this right now. As soon as this blows up, that control's gone. Then we're at the mercy of what happens. Then we're going to have to go with the flow and ride this thing out. If we're prepared, riding it out is going to be a breeze. If you're not, you're rolling the dice. And you're rolling the dice with your family's safety and security. I don't think it's a smart move. Use your heads. Do the right thing. Live your life the way. If you're living your life the way, you're going to get prepped up. And you're going to keep pushing until this thing blows. We're going to get new people every day, just like Lisa did. Let's keep pushing, guys. I think I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. Remember, fear not. God and President Trump are still 1,000% in control. We'll see you tomorrow night at 5 Pacific. God bless.